Well, each year finds many Hoosier veterans looking to join the civilian workforce, but with that search can come extra hurdles for vets to clear. That's where a not-for-profit organization called INvets comes in to help. Here to explain how is INvets Veteran Engagement Manager Chaze Patrick. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Nichole.
So I'm sure when many folks think about our Hoosier veterans, they think of the time that they spent serving our country and maybe not necessarily their transition back into civilian life. Tell us how INvets comes in to help bridge that process.
Well, INvets is here to kind of connect those dots, right? We realize that there are over 200,000 veteran and service members that get out of the military each year. And so a lot of it's like, I put this uniform on, what can I do, right? And so we work with them to combine all their experiences and help them find rewarding careers in Indiana. And then more so, help them find great communities that they can be a part of.
Okay, when we're talking about INvets as an organization, what are the pillars that is the basis of all the work that you guys do?
Well, we have 4, and some of those are meeting people where they are, helping them people get integrated within their community, and then of course, there's the aspect of having that respect and trust, right? Because you can't do anything without having that respect for a person and what they want within their life.
That's right. I know you recently spoke at the State of Workforce that we held here in Knox County with the Chamber, and you talked about how Indiana is really a place where veterans are kind of noticing and wanting to relocate to. How do you think that's come about, and what's it been like as folks have tried to find a community to live in?
When you really talk to somebody and you explain to them like, hey, there are other things outside of what you see here. Us, when we go out to the bases each week, we try to explain to them that there are opportunities everywhere, but specifically to Indiana, we have a lot of room to grow, and we're looking for people to fill those positions. And so coupled with that, and then the more so signatures with each community, and then the incentives, right, to come to Indiana. I mean, a lot of families are like, yes, let's make that move.
Okay. With their existing training during their time of service, I'm sure each veteran brings with them such a value that could be placed in different workforce areas. What are you seeing as you work with these veterans?
I'm seeing a mix. It's been more like manufacturing, healthcare, like your main higher demand occupations, but then also when we take our approach as far as helping people, find their career, we're really taking that personalized approach to kind of say, hey, you can do these things, which we can also look at these things, right? And kind of queuing them up to make sure that they have all the options when it comes to just, their path. When
you're talking with employers, what are some of the misconceptions that you're trying to dispel that folks may coincide with when they think of veterans?
Okay, so not all veterans have PTSD. That seems to be a huge misconception, right? Because we think of like the Hollywood and the dramatized, the war and everything else. Well, common misconception as far as how a person may, reintegrate to civilian society. A lot of times there are things that they do within their jobs and within their missions, within their positions that are stressful, yes, but it also cues them up for professional opportunities down the road, right? It's just more so when we talk to employers, we try to make sure that the employers understanding the connections that person in uniform can bring and how from a long-term perspective, they have those skill sets that they're looking for.
Okay. What other barriers do you guys try to work through when you're trying to help place veterans in the workforce?
Language. I always say, know your audience, right? Do some research, find out what are particular technical languages that's used in certain industries and learn those things. I also recommend for those who are currently in uniform, go to conferences, right? Because within that, you talk to subject matter experts, right? And then you're also networking.
That's right.
And then you're also gaining your knowledge and building your network as you transition out. I have a younger brother right now. He is in his second enlistment in the Air Force. And I tell him now, I'm like, hey, I know you're looking at doing 20, but situations may change. still use those opportunities to develop yourself and build your network while you're still in, because you never know. I mean, you could get hurt, or
Right.
maybe the branch downsizes. So you're being proactive in helping your transition be successful.
And I know, I mean, that could translate to everyone and anyone. You don't know what life holds for you. And you don't know when you might meet somebody who could maybe open a door for you that you may not even realized was there.
Yes, very much true.
When we're looking at employers, what is the message that you want to bring to employers in our area here about why to consider hiring a veteran?
I feel that when we really look at the scope of all the jobs and all the skills, knowledge, and abilities that a person has, really kind of taking a look and saying, hey, help me make sense of what you've done and how you can connect yourself with our company. I think having that baseline discussion will help a lot, because you have to think there's over 800 different military occupations out there. And so coupled with their life experience, really taking a look and saying, hey, I see you, I know you've done some stuff for our country, let's see if we can connect you with the right opportunity.
Okay. When you think about your time spent working with different veterans, I'm sure there's many success stories that you can recall. What is one of them that stood out to you?
Just recently, I got in connection with a gentleman. He was Special Forces, and we really kind of broke down his experience and some of the things that he can do in his civilian career, right? And so he had a really difficult time really kind of communicating his value to employers. And so with some constant digging and working with him, we were able to get him a very beneficial opportunity to where he's actually on his second day today. That we never would have thought would have came to fruition if we just didn't have that conversation. Plus, working with some of the hiring managers and recruiters, they're having a better understanding as far as how somebody's experience can be a benefit to their company. So those discussions really help. And with networking, makes everything that much more better.
When talking to the community here, we've got the employers, but how can other folks help support the mission of INvets and help veterans then kind of find a home here in our community?
I would say having those discussions for anybody that you may know is wearing a uniform or considering, and then making sure that as they go through their journey, that they're connecting with all the news that's local as far as new opportunities with businesses, or just in general, just connecting with those people that they know, and when they're looking at later on when they transition, they can tie the knot on that and make sure that they're finding that suitable employment. And we also help military spouses too.
Oh yeah.
So with that whole unit, making sure that everybody is really taking a look at their options and making that best decision moving forward.
Okay. When you think of the impact that you're having through INvets, and you look at the year coming forward, what are some goals that you guys have as an organization?
Collectively, we are looking at bringing 525 new residents to the state of Indiana.
Wow.
And with that, it's definitely a team effort. We're constantly out there to bases across the world telling them all about the great things in Indiana. And with that, I mean, that's really where the conversation starts, right? And then building those relationships with those transitioning centers helps to, get people to really think about what their options are down the road. Nobody ever thinks about Indiana. I'm initially from Chicago, but Indiana is now my home. And so I'm a Hoosier by choice. And so we're trying to make sure we spread that word about, hey, there may be a lot of states out there, but Indiana is a great place to, live, grow, and love, and make sure you make that commitment by being a Hoosier.
Okay. When you think about the work that you're doing, what does it mean to you when you see that vet successfully get a job, their family moves here? How does that make you feel?
It all comes full circle. I think when you go to a new place, or you've been away from a place for a number of years sometimes, that you kind of lose sight of that community. And then when I talk to people and they come back and they're like, I feel good about this, but it's a little scary. And you're like, hey, I'm here. We're here for you, right? And getting them connected. I feel the reward based on them having their best potential when they get back. So I feel very appreciative as far as being part of that process in their life.
Okay, that's great. Anybody watching wants to learn more, wants to reach out, how can they do that?
They can go to our website, INvets.org. You can connect with any of our team. As far as support, if anybody wants to donate, they can go to INvets.org and donate to us as well. And then we also always have great events happening around the state. So be on the lookout, because I'm sure there'll be one coming near you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much for being here today, Chaz.
Thank you, Nichole.
And of course, if you would like more information about INvets, we have a link for you to follow on our website, vincenspbs.org.